So I want to bring in now Main Street Research, their Chief Investment Officer, James Demmert. And James, you just recently upgraded your target. You were 6,800, you're 7,000. That's on the S&P. Why did you move it higher?
Good to see you, Charles. We moved it higher because of a few things. One is earnings, which have been way better than expected.
The mother's milk of rallies.
We think it's going to continue. We think AI productivity continues to enhance those earnings. And we think the Fed cuts. So we went from 6,800, which we were at all year long, to 7,000.
And you're not afraid of these strong companies getting stronger, becoming a greater share of the overall market? That doesn't scare you?
You know, we're in the early stages of this whole AI revolution. So these things can go a lot higher. You know, think about valuations. They're not unreasonable. Even though the market caps,
right,
they're big. Valuations are still reasonable. You
know, what's interesting to me is, so the big boys missed all of it, right? I mean, like you said, you were 6,800, now you're 7,000. Retail also been there. So Goldman's out. I don't know if they're being facetious or sort of like they're talking about all these retail stocks that retailers, investors are buying $1.2 billion worth. AMD is on the list, some others. They say, hey, it's all meme stock stuff and it's okay while it lasts. And then others are pointing to this. Palantir. That Palantir is #1 on the list for the retailers, and it's got this unique thing. One of the highest forward price to sales ratios and price to earnings ratios in history, but you still like it.
Yeah, we do. You know, and I think this is a reminder to us of NVIDIA maybe 3 years ago, where the multiples were so incredibly high, investors really tried to stay away, particularly the institutional smart money. But a lot of retail investors were in NVIDIA early. We would make this the same analogy. We think Palantir grows into that valuation, and that last report would suggest they can.
You also like Apollo. Full disclosure, I have subscribers in Apollo. It's just, listen, two things really worry me. That this sort of swoon here, like what's going on? I've always felt with the private equity folks, maybe is it too opaque? Do they have a bunch of stuff they can't get rid of? Is this why they're championing 401ks? Why do you like it?
We love Apollo here. You know, the private equity business is great, but they're going through a restructuring, which we think is going to really enhance earnings growth. Think about this. The chart doesn't look good, but it's 50% off the low, which is about as good as it gets compared to most stocks. It just hasn't got a new high yet.
This is a sort of consolidation move here, and then the next move maybe break out through 155 and we're off to the races.
Melt up.
Melt up. Okay, love it. We love melt ups. This has already had a melt up and a half and more. GE Vernova. I mean, almost everyone these days who comes on the show say they like it. I'm fine with it. I bought it in my own account like 2 or 3 years ago before they spun off. What's the risk? I mean, even a great company can get ahead of its skis from time to time.
The risk here is that all of a sudden we don't need as much electricity. You know, right now there's way more there's way more demand than we have supply. So if you imagine that goes away, and we don't, we think the stock has reasonably gone up this much. We think it goes higher because that supply-demand problem in electricity is very significant. One of the few ways to play that directly.
Markets here, big deal. A lot of betting shifting on the Fed. Where are you now? You see 25, 50 basis points?
I think they cut 25. I think if they don't, this market's at risk.
Right.
I think they've got to cut.
It's built in at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard to imagine he would not cut.
I can't imagine it. I think they've got every reason to do it. They've said they will sacrifice inflation to keep the labor market strong. That's the reason they got to go.
Good stuff. Appreciate you. You've been killing it, man. Good stuff.